Hello, everybody. It's been a long time since we did a craft stream, huh? Well, as you can see, I have been making great progress on the Stardew Valley map because I don't want to do any of my other work, and I have a new comfy couch that's calling my name, and this is very easy to do on the couch. So, this cross-stitch map, let me pull up the details. I want to give credit. So this map was designed by Bunia, underscore BU underscore NIA on Twitter, or Bunia X Stitch on Instagram. And they've made it completely free, which is amazing of them. So as you can see, this is going to be rather huge. I've got a good bit of, space on the sides, which is good, but it is going to take up, at least this much of it. We're just up in the top corner, working. You can see we got some nice mountains and some trees coming up and the nice river and lake. I actually picked the updated map for the river farm because I'm a weirdo who actually likes fishing in Stardew Valley. So I usually pick the river farm because then I have plenty of time to fish. Anyway, today I'm going to be kind of filling in some of these gaps I've got. There's, several different shades of green, basically. More of the other colors come in elsewhere on the pattern as we get into town and the beach and all of those fun things. But for now, let's keep working on this. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do this color. So it's this little key symbol. This pattern was originally made for Ariadna thread. We don't have that here. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it anywhere. But it did include a nice handy little guide for converting it into DMC. And so that's what these numbers are. I just went ahead and wrote the key on here so I can find it even faster. Okay, so I need number 166. And I have my big bag of thread that's unsorted. In the past, I've been a little bit more organized, but I just didn't feel like doing it this time. Also, I need to remake my little thread sorter because it's starting to bow and tangle. Okay, just confirming. I see a bunch of numbers and I start forgetting which number I was going for. 166, okay. So it's this interesting, very bright yellow color. So I'll go ahead and pull some of it loose. I still like keeping it on these clothespins just because that's really easy to wind it around and then clamp it so I can find the end really easy and it doesn't get tangled. Just making sure my one camera is not blocking the other camera or vice versa. Good. Get these together and perfect. Okay. So the fun thing about this is I do have to get up under it because it's so big. And look, it's coming out much cleaner than the last one so far. Thread it back through this way. There we go. Okay. I really like Stardew Valley. I just find it such a calming game. I tried to get into the Animal Crossing once I got a Switch. It didn't last very long because, I don't know. It's weird how Stardew Valley's tedium pleases me, and Animal Crossing's tedium annoys me. Also, they took like all of the personality out of the villagers, which was, half the fun. So because this piece is so big, I actually find it easier to keep one hand beneath it and trade the needle back and forth instead of just using one hand. It's nice to just be chill and quiet sometimes, especially after a hectic day of work. Wasn't too bad, but did have my last business workshop of the series. And now I get to just relax. Okay, oftentimes I would do this whole row across, but I don't actually want to be too far from coming down. So I'm actually going to go back and do the cross right now. And this little nubbin here is going to be a different green color, so I will leave it alone. There we go. Wanted to keep getting snagged in the wrong spot. Is that right? Yeah. Just have to make sure I stab it in the right hole and I don't skip over some or do it vertically or anything. Every time I go to visit my friend's house, there's just all these little surprise cat hairs all over my piece. I wonder why that happens. I think once we do this little streak here, it goes kind of along the riverbed here. I think we'll go up and start filling in these gaps up here. You might have noticed if you've seen some of my cross-stitch projects in the past, I usually start in the bottom left corner and go up and over. The nice thing about cross-stitch is you can actually start pretty much in any corner you want. I don't recommend starting in the middle. That just sounds really messy. But you can start pretty much in any corner you want, as long as you are going the consistent direction through the entire piece. If you all of a sudden stitch one row backwards, you go this way instead of that way, it will stand out glaringly. But from one person's piece to the other, doesn't matter which corner you start in, whatever makes you more comfortable. A friend recommended a Nat for this once. but I didn't feel like paying for it. I can Sharpie my paper just as easily. Also, for any of you out there not in the cross-stitch circles, the fact that I freehand this, that I don't use a hoop or a scroll frame or anything, I am absolute maverick. But listen, my pieces are too big for a hoop. I don't do itty-bitty pieces that fit nicely in a hoop. That's boring. Yep, great. So this one little spot right there, I don't know if the zoom will work on it. That's better. This one little spot right next to this. It's a slightly different shade of green, so I can't fill that in just yet. Stuck myself a little bit in the thumb. All right, this is a big gap to jump, and I don't want to waste that much thread, so I'm actually going to tie this off and cut it here, and then jump over there. Oops, left my scissors over on the table. Give me just a moment. Itty bitty embroidery threads. Scissors, not threads. These are embroidery threads. Alright, I need to jump over here. All right, perfect. Oops, I just noticed I didn't properly mark off something. Last time I was working, there's this whole section down here that I did. And now I can go back and mark these off. I I'm getting so close to the first page being done. I just have these little sections up here, some miscellaneous stuff down in here, and then the hillsides down here, and then I'll be off onto other pages. And I'm really excited because the next page over, that's where you start getting some color in it. So you got the bus that you can take to the desert. You've got Robin's house. No. I don't remember what this one is. Might be the community center, actually. Yeah, this is the playground. The little fountain and the community center. This is Robin's house and Linus's tent and the hot springs and the train. But, gotta finish this page first. It's so funny. I'm so used to working at this scale that these gaps just look gaping to me. But looking at them on camera, you can barely see the blank spaces that I need to fill in. Listen, it makes sense to me, and I'm the one doing it, so that's what's important. Alright, I'm gonna actually run it under and over. Right? Yeah. Right out there. There we go. So much excess stuff up around. It'll be nice when I'm farther along and it's stiffer or not as, floppy. Also got the libraries craft and chat, I think this Monday, or this Friday. So 2 times I'll be working on this during a live event. Oh, come on. Ah, all the way through. Gotta stop catching my finger on the needle. Gotta get resettled here. I keep hunching, which isn't great for my body. Alright, these 3 and then another jump to over there. get that sweet spot. There it is. And 2. I cannot wait for his next game, Haunted Chocolatier. It's going to be so good. Okay. Sometimes I feel like the world's slowest dot printer. Yeah. Keep looking away at inopportune moments and stabbing myself. I gotta make sure I don't bleed. Not for myself, but I don't want to get blood on this. I think it's this one. Okay. It's a long way up. One of these days I want to work on this while listening to some of the Doctor Who audio dramas, but I can't do that on YouTube because they're copywritten. So that might be a Discord stream. There's a lot of much darker greens. Oops, that's supposed to be one. Oh well, up through here. So I have to pay a little bit more attention because, as I showed, I already messed one up. This one off on its own is supposed to be a dark green, not this yellow green. These little underlined gaps are meant to be the little islands across on your farm. And then there was meant to be more, like I just ran out of that particular blue. Didn't feel like restarting. That was actually on an entirely different page. So basically what I'm doing is as I run off the page, I continue with the color until a reasonable stopping point. And then once I'm, filled in an extra loop or something, then I'll go back and start a next section. That way there's not, a clean cut line at the edge of each page, because otherwise that's how you end up having the fabric accidentally fold over in the most awkward spots. Learned that with my first one, Dorian. But I also don't want to get too far off the page, because I'll come back to this page once I'm actually on page 2. So this pattern is actually printed out on my printer as a 3-page wide by 3-page tall, but each page is obviously much wider than it is tall. So it's not a perfectly square map. I don't know if cross-stitch streams are the most visually interesting thing to watch, but I've tried to do other crafts and they're just not as fun. I find this much more fun. This one goes 3 across. Okay. Now go back and do the cross. Hence the name cross stitch. Hi Oliver, how are you today? How's that art project of yours coming? It's late over there, isn't it? Sleepy, solid. Me too. I came home and laid down for like 10 minutes before getting the stream set up. That was a fucking mistake, let me tell you. Turned it in, hooray! That's so exciting. It's nice to get something off the to-do list, isn't it? That's solid. 10:30 is also not late for me. But our other East Coast friendos are very much early birds. I am not. Cannot relate at all. I used to be a morning person when I was in college, but that was quite a while ago. Give it another month or two and it'll have officially been a decade since I've been out of undergrad. Yikes, I'm getting old. So what are you working on now? Playing more Overwatch? My lips are drying out. I've done too much talking today. Too much talking, not enough water. Alright, this one I'm actually not going to jump back to the start to cover because this is actually my last row. So I'm just going to go back the normal way. My last row in this color, I should maybe specify. Left him in your dad's car for good or ill. Finishing other homework is very, very important. I don't miss the days of homework at all. Not that I don't have, like, work projects, but it's not the same. Oh, my hair is fluffy today. It's nice not to be rushed. That's what I like. If you can get on a project early, not that it usually happens, but if you can, it's nice because then you're not like in a blind sprint panic trying to finish it on time. All right. That is all of that obnoxiously bright yellow-green on this page. I know there's more of it tucked in other corners. But we're not doing other pages yet. We're just doing the first page. Because I like taking that picture and being like, ta-da! Done with page 1 of 9. Not that we're going to finish it tonight. We're not going to finish page 1 today. Maybe another week or so. Alright. Time to mark off our little map here. Great. So now I could use these little dark green ones, but I think I'm actually going to come up here slightly off screen and do these gaps. But let me wind this back around so that I don't lose it again. Yeah, that's the danger. When you have too much time to work on something, sometimes you can just work on it for over and over and over and over again. When it really, like, you should stop and put it away. But it's so hard to tell that point. But yeah, there's sometimes I'm just like, okay, this just needs to be something I've learned in the last like year or two with the pandemic is good enough is enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be good enough. Okay, so we need that little half circle one, which I think is on page 2 of my key. No, where's my second page of my key? There it is. 703, okay. There it is. So it's not like, it's not a huge difference. I think some of the ones in here are 703. So it's not a huge difference. It's probably visually not going to look super interesting, but altogether it looks really good. Take a sufficiently long amount of string. Snip. Pin so I can find the end later. Now I gotta separate it because these embroidery flosses come 6 threads. 6 threads to a string and I just need 2 at a time. There we go. Perfect. Okay, come off my shoulder now. Thank you. Now, where did the end go? That's the constant game in cross stitching is, where's my end? But yeah, the whole good enough is good enough mentality is probably why I can never be a PhD grad student. Because good enough is not good enough for a PhD. You have to study every minutia. And I just pass. No, thank you. That doesn't sound fun to me. Okay, I'm actually going to start at the top up here. Let me just thread my needle through this mess so that it'll hold the back end of the thread. You know, you can't see very much right now. I'm literally just pulling the thread. Okay, have to be careful not to pull it too tight because that's a constant problem of mine. Now I need my pattern to be too wide. I like the little hills you can slowly start to see emerge in the different shades of green. All right, there's that top row. Halfway done. I started the stream off with the Stardew Valley music actually as a playlist, but I don't know. I might get flagged for that, so I stopped and searched for a royalty-free lo-fi playlist instead. I studied. I have my bachelor's degree is in English with a creative writing emphasis, and I got a certification in technical writing as well. My school had a weird rule: you couldn't like major and minor in English, and creative writing and technical writing aren't minors or aren't degrees; they're emphasis. So, hence the weird kind of convoluted way of saying it. And then after several years of having a adult job, I did grad school online, and I got my master's in marketing, integrated marketing communications. I am the evil purveyor of capitalism. I don't know. I find the psychology of like how people work really interesting. What motivates people. And it really is so, like, what I do with small businesses and, like, local nonprofits is incredibly different than what you do at a corporate level. So that was really interesting to kind of pursue as I was working on my master's. Oh, come on. Don't knot on me. Don't knot on me, baby. Don't do it. Okay. It's not the time to be messy. Once upon a time, I wanted to write a novel. Haven't written anything creatively in years. Maybe I'll get back to it someday. Life's just, busy and a lot all the time. This green is so close to the rest of the green on here, but I promise it is a little bit different. This little patch is not discolored. It's a different shade of green than the green around it. But you're an art person, you get shading. Keep trying to figure out if there was a way I could do like a full-on sewing stream. Just visually it would be something different, and then maybe it would give me a good excuse to get some outfits done. But my sewing desk is very heavy, and it is all the way in my bedroom. So I don't think I would be able to do a sewing stream unless I got a laptop, which I do not currently own. Something for the list of improvements. My stream ever takes off and I get millions of subscribers. First thing I'll buy is a stream deck so I can easily seed transition. Second thing I'll buy is a laptop so I can do streams on the go. I don't know. Maybe I should just not live stream it, but maybe I should film one of the sewing projects and then sort of put it up as a time-lapse video. That would be pretty cool. Uh-oh, where'd my music go? Hasn't been long enough for you to be done, has it? No, it's just this weird amount of awkward empty space. Oh, come on. How much of you is dead air? There we go. Goodness. No, I don't mind at all. I was just talking to myself before. These are not, these are meant to be nice chill streams. So just reply when you feel like it. If you feel like it at all. I can't do FPSs, but I'm glad you're having fun with Overwatch. I'm not a shooter. Yeah, time lapse should be good. I should just do it at some point. All these things I should do. I also need to get videos edited and up, especially my back catalog of stuff that was on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't archive it past a certain point in time. So I need to get those videos edited and up on my YouTubes. Just in case somebody might be interested. Content. Just kidding. I immediately pictured Koi scowling at me when I said that. Ah! Cross stitch is a very slow hobby, but it's really nice, because it's nice and calming and repetitive, and working towards visible progress. That's why I enjoy it so much. So ton of heroes that you can play and that don't require good aim, great, because I have terrible aim in real life and in video games. And every time I watch like a streamer or a YouTuber mock like, oh, I don't need aim assist, I'm like, I very much do, thank you. I will take all of the help I can get, because otherwise I am useless and I will die a million times, and that is just not fun for me. I also need to get a chain and a hook so that I can hook up my dress form that friends and I made. Right now it's just sitting in my chair, and I need to hook it up at the right height so I can work around it. Because I'm gonna start making my own clothes at some point. Oh, come on. Unhook, thank you. What am I gonna cook for dinner tonight? I haven't even decided. I had some butternut squash ravioli for lunch. That was really good. But it wasn't the most filling, so gotta decide for dinner after the stream. No, come on. There we go. More than halfway done with this first little wedge up here. That's exciting. And then a slight jump down to the next set of stuff. There's one particular streamer I used to watch when I was home a lot more and it was easier to watch streams. Plays a lot of Valorant, and I'm just perpetually like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're probably doing a good job at it. I know nothing about FPSs. I am the dreaded casual gamer. Come on, hook. Thank you. You guys don't get to see half of my stitch pulls because they're underneath the thread or underneath the fabric. Almost done with this first little pocket. All these darker greens through here are all trees. I wanted to take a close-up picture when I'm done and just post happy little trees. Hey Zappy, how you doing? Sorry I didn't catch very much of your stream. You started while I was in the middle of workshop, and then I got back and I was like, cool, now I can watch it. And then my coworker immediately came in to talk to me, so. Oxygen's not included. Seems like fun. Are you building your base pretty well? Glad you're doing good. That storm passed, thankfully. I was concerned about you. Doing pretty good. I actually have energy tonight, which is nice. I mean, not a ton. I'm still kind of sleepy. But yesterday I opted to work from home so that I could just, you know, chill in my jammies and get stuff done without having to entertain everybody else all day. Not that that's what my job is, but there's a lot of chatting when you're working in the office. Sunny skies, nice. It was actually pretty warm here today. It was wild. I wore this sweater. Well, teaching because it's a nice sweater. But like as soon as I got out, I was like, I have to take this sweater off. It's too hot. I'm not built for this heat. Not that it's like actually hot, but it was just finally warm. So my warm clothes were not appreciated. But you guys are on the other swing, right? We're getting warmer and you're starting to get colder. Don't miss all that. Do you work from home totally? Gotta remember to not pull my... I'm gonna pull this down a little bit farther. I That way when I pull it closer to myself to look, it's not out of frame. Put more file here in the past week. That's hilarious. Isn't the weather just kind of wild the last several years? It's a little upsetting. Haven't been to the office in 3 years. Nice. Yeah, I was solidly work from home for almost 2 years. I started going back to the office when we hired a new coworker because, you know, somebody needed to be there to teach her stuff. And she's only been there for about 3 weeks. So still working from the office more often than not so that I can help out. But I don't know. We're still, luckily, we're pretty solidly like, do what you want. As long as you're getting your work done, they don't really care where you get it done from, which is very nice. Starting to get cooler. Nice. I don't enjoy summer. So any other season is fine by me. It helps that I live in a fairly temperate climate, so it never really gets warmer than like 70s Fahrenheit. Where, you know, we did have a couple of like a week or so of like 90s heat, and that was not fun. But then flip side of that is we don't really get snow either. So that's nice. Snows maybe twice a year, and usually it snows and then it's gone the next day. 70s until Christmas? That's wild. Unacceptable. Way too hot. I can't. Ugh. We actually had a week of snow, like Christmas on, which is not usual for us. Usually when it snows, it melts within a day. But we actually had like a week of snow and ice, which again, was nice that I was working from home and didn't have to go to the office. And I live like a 5-minute walk from the grocery store, so I really didn't need my car. Though, I did take it over to my friend's house to borrow an immersion blender and then promptly got stuck at their house. So lucky my car just got to sit at their house for like 3 days. Nice, because like I have not actually ever rented a car when I've traveled. Pretty much everywhere I've been, I can get anywhere I want to go on public transportation. Though I did have some friends living in Sydney, and it was I planned to go stay with them for a few days, and then I booked an Airbnb just in case like we didn't get along, it didn't work out. And then I ended up going to the Airbnb for like one day, and then my friends were like, "Do you want to just come back?" And I was like, "Yeah, I really just want to come back because I actually really liked hanging out with them." Unfortunately, I don't think that's a trip I could repeat in the same way because they moved to Canberra, and is that how I say it? I don't remember. They're like the capital city. And then now they've moved to New Zealand, which I really like to go. I want to just go live in New Zealand. But I don't think they'd take me. I had there was a friend of a friend that my friend was telling me she had, she'd gotten a job in New Zealand, and she was supposed to go right before the pandemic hit. And then her visa got rejected because she was too fat. And so I think I would run into the same problem. So I'm just too afraid to try to get out of this country. I don't think anyone else would take me. It was fun just to wander around. My boss was laughing at me that most of my pictures were like looking up into the trees, and I'm like, listen, I like looking at trees when I go places because the trees are just so different. What region do you live in, Zeppy? If you want to. You don't have to share if you don't want to. Mostly when I go on vacation, I just kind of want to vibe. When I went to Japan, we did hit like multiple. I think we stayed in like 5 different places throughout the country. Brisbane, nice. Isn't that like on the opposite side of Sydney? QLD, nice. I had some friends that lived on a farm out in QLD. But I'm sure they didn't live near anything. That's what I love about the internet. You can meet people like from all over the world in a way that, like, I grew up poor. I never would have been able to meet people from everywhere without the internet. And like I have no problem meeting people in person that I've met online. North of Sydney. Oh right. Duh. I saw. Okay, that's why Brisbane's pinging my brain because like. When I was taking the train out to Blue Mountains, I think I was seeing other like mileage signs for Brisbane. I don't think I've ever taken a plane anywhere that's only an hour away by plane. No, that's not true. How long did it take? I went to California once. How long was that flight? That might have been slightly closer to 2 hours, but that would have been probably the shortest flight I've ever taken. Most of the time, if it's like an hour by plane, I'll just drive. The longest drive I ever had was when I moved out here from Utah. That was a 14-hour drive, and I did that multiple times. Straight through. I was a much younger lass back then. Neat. I appreciate you translating it into stupid imperial numbers for this American Zeppy. I deeply appreciate it. Because usually when metric numbers get thrown at me, I'm just like, oh, cool. At the last convention I was at, I was actually listening to 2 friends talk. And one is from Vancouver, BC, and the other lives outside of Seattle. And they were talking about like temperatures, and I kind of tuned in like partway through the conversation, but like my friend was like, oh, like, there's a pretty big temperature difference, just like not that far away. Because it's like, I don't know, a couple of hours to drive to Vancouver. And she's like, yeah, it rarely gets below like 30. The other person is like, it rarely gets below like 30 here. And she's like, wow, it's my friend up in Canada was like, oh, it's often like negative, in the negatives. And I went, hold on. You guys are talking two different systems. Kat, you are talking Celsius. So when she says it's 30, she does mean like -2. And she's talking, so for us, she is talking below 0 because it's freezing. It's funny when those like barriers happen. You just don't think about it, you know? You talk in your own terms the most often. You just don't realize, oh wait, I'm talking to somebody else here. Let me tell you, when I went to Australia, I did volunteer one weekend at the Comic-Con in Sydney, and I definitely made a fool of myself because for some reason, this was after I'd been in Sydney for like 2 days maybe, they decided that the place they were going to put me as a volunteer was in the ticket booth. I was definitely like the slowest ticket booth person because I don't know what money is. So I had to look really closely to realize like what money they were giving me. And then this one guy I went to, like, he's like, I'll pay by card. And so I like held my hand up for his card and he looked at me like I was insane. And he's like, no, I just tap it. And I was like, oh, because we didn't have those here. We do now, but we didn't have those in America then. I was just like, what? But I know it's not just me. Because, again, my Canadian friend, she hates when she has to deal with money. Because she's like, American money all looks the same. Yeah, same issue. Like, I don't know. I can't remember if Australia is the same way. I know you've got, like, your $1 and $2, basically, or just our coins. I don't remember if your guys' bills look distinctly different, but Canada's money, like, it is different sizes and different colors. So you can tell at a glance what bill somebody gave you. Not in the US. The 20s and the 100s are now, like, kind of fancy enough that you can tell those apart from others. But, nah, most of the money is... When did you come to America? And you went to Comic-Con. Did you go to the Comic-Con in San Diego? Because I went there once and I will never go there again. That was my least favorite con I've ever been to. There was just too many people. And I went with a terrible group that just turned into an absolute mess. Every other con I've been to has been way more fun. Different sizes and colors. Nice. Yeah. Nice to be immediately telling. San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. That one was... Oof. Especially now, like, post-COVID, I think I would want to go even less. 2015? I wonder, when did... I went in 2014, so I went just before you. Not that even if we'd gone at the same time, we never would have run into each other. I barely saw the people I went with. It's just so busy. And it really is. It's such a different world than the other conventions. A lot more corporate. For your honeymoon? I didn't know you were married, Zeppy. Congrats. Where'd you go for your honeymoon? Just kind of around? The U.S. is a great, big, gigantic place, so. I met an Australian girl when I went to LeakyCon, which is a Harry Potter convention, in Portland, Oregon. She had come over early to go to the convention by herself. I wasn't doing any of the Harry Potter stuff because I was already like, fuck Harry Potter back then. But I was doing most of the lit track. Where did I just end up at? There we go. But so she'd come up early before her family, and then her family was flying up after the convention, and they were going to go to a bunch of different states. She was cool. We just kind of adopted her. Like, she was sitting by herself between panels, and I marched up to her, and I was like, hello, want to be friends? And she's like, sure. And then she was making fun of all of us wimpy Americans for dying in the heat. And then the last day of the convention, we went walking to Voodoo Donuts, which is a very popular chain that started in Portland and is now in a few other places. By the time we got there, we were all like bright red in the face, including her. So I just look at her and I'm like, it's not that hot, huh? She's like, shut up. Florida. Ugh, Florida's hot and muggy. I guess you might be used to that depending on Australia. I've never been to Florida. I've never been to Disney World. I have been to Disneyland like 3 or 4 times, but I've never been to Disney World. I'm kind of over Disney, but I might go to Disney World because it's just such a bigger park and there's so many more rides. And a lot of the like OG rides that I miss at Disneyland still exist at Disney World. At some point, I'd like to visit all of the U.S. states. And I've done at least like 30 some odd at this point. But like the East Coast and the South are really where I'm sparse. I work with a crew for conventions, and we got invited to Florida SuperCon last year. But I was like, I don't really want to go to Florida in the peak of the pandemic, so I will pass. Yeah, you literally cannot see everything. It's crazy. My roommate is planning to go to New Zealand in a couple of years, I think, for a Lord of the Rings trip, because she's a big buff. I do not have any international plans as of yet. I had originally planned to go to I had planned to go to Ireland with my mother for my 30th birthday. But there was still a pandemic on, so that didn't happen. Who knows when I'll feel safe enough to travel, but maybe I'll plan out locally first. Yeah. Hard to travel during a worldwide pandemic. Ow. Stuck myself yet again. Planning a trip to Germany? That sounds really fun. Is that why you've been studying so hard? Yeah. Great. Yes, great. It's nice to be able to speak the language. We went to Japan and I spoke very little, though I had also, like, compulsively studied as much as I possibly could. Google Translate saved our bacon multiple times, and the Japanese people were just so nice to be willing to help out, even with a silly, poor translation between us. You want to move there one day? Nice. Yet most Americans I talk to are not actually very enthusiastic about living in America. I wonder why. Say when you went to Japan? Yeah. Like, when we were in Tokyo, there were, like, a decent amount of people who did actually speak English. But pretty much anywhere else we went, no. And I never expected anybody to. Flying to Paris. Take the train to Berlin. Nice. Yeah, I love planning little day trips and excursions. That's where the fun is. So my travel style is I plan obsessively leading up to it I'm like, all right, I'm going to need this bus and this train, and like, here's some stuff I could do, and here's their open hours, and like how much it costs and where to go. And I planned pretty extensively so that then when I'm actually there, I can just relax and do whatever I want. I pulled up 12 different things that I could do so that then when I'm actually there, I can go, okay, this is what I actually want to do. Yeah, as far as I know with Japanese folks, they think Japanese is very hard to learn, and so they just don't want you to even bother. Which I think is the same with, like, Denmark. Don't even try to speak the language. They will not find it endearing. They'll just be like, no, we speak English. Just stick to English. Planning for a trip is absolutely its own hobby. But I don't want to be like tightly scheduled with a strict itinerary either, like while I'm there. Because I don't find that fun of like, okay, we can spend an hour or two here and then we have to leave for that. And like, that doesn't let me spend whatever time I want. You just need to know where you're sleeping for all the nights. Anything else is free for all. Solid. On that Japan trip, friends had decided they wanted to come with me, which I was like, that's fine. And so I made them sit down and be like, okay, what kind of things would you like to do? And they were just like, pretty much whatever. But one person was like, okay, I'd like to go here. So based on that, we mapped out like where we were going and when. It's like, okay, we'll spend like 4 nights in Tokyo, and then we'll go up to, up north, and then we'll go down to Fukuoka, and then to Kyoto. And then I was like, all right, so now you know where we're going to be and when. So you need to figure out what you want to do. Because when I travel with people, I don't think we have to stick together the whole time. We can absolutely like go do our own things, whatever sounds like fun to us, and then meet back up for dinner or just like see each other at night. We do not need to be joined at the hip. That's how I travel. So we get there. Again, me with all of my tightly scheduled plans of like, here's all the stuff I could do, here's how to get there, blah, blah, blah. So we get there and I look at them and I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. What are you guys going to do? And they're like, oh, we'll just come with you. That sounds like fun. And I'm like, excuse me? Yeah, I sometimes that condescension is annoying, especially when you have like studied the language for an extensive period of time. I've not been in that position, so whoever's kind enough to speak stupid American to me, I am deeply appreciative of. But I've heard from a lot of people who like, I studied this language for years and they wouldn't talk to me. I'm like, that's rough, buddy. I'm solidly in the like, listen, coddle my stupid American ass. I will appreciate it. I'm going to be exceedingly polite. I'm going to look into every etiquette possible. I don't want to be one of those Americans, but I'm also very dumb. I took French for 7 years and I'm useless at it. I can mostly just remember how to complain about body aches. So yeah, go easy on me. I'm good with that. The funny thing was, and when I was in Australia, Zeppy, apparently, without opening my mouth, I'm very Australian passing. Because there were multiple places I was out when I was working the convention, but also when I was out and about. As long as I was standing there with my mouth shut, people talked to me like a local. But as soon as I opened my mouth and started speaking, they'd like double take. And then I got lots of the comments of like, I love your accent. And I'm like, thanks. I don't understand it. I'm not one of those people like, I don't have an accent, because everybody in the world has an accent. But it's more just like, who thinks my accent is nice? As far as I'm aware, American accents are not one of the highly ranked sexy accents. Filling in all these little random buckets. It gets kind of messy in here because there's like 4 different colors going on. Some people are like, can you just say something? Listen, though, Australian accents are nice. I think that's like universally acknowledged that people like Australian accents. Who likes US accents? No. Undid that stitch accidentally. It's just fun to hear people talk in different ways. There was ages ago when I was regularly on Tumblr, there was like an accent meme going around where it's like, here's a list of stuff to read. And it was so fun to like, because there's, your internet friends who you talk to for ages, but you never like verbally talk to them. So you have no idea how they sound. And everybody's voice is infinitely cuter than your own voice. That's just the rules. That's how it works. Like, I don't know anybody who, upon hearing their own voice, doesn't go, oh, God, you guys have to listen to that? I'm so sorry. I think I'm up here. Yeah. Yeah, who likes their own voice? It's just nice to hear something different, you know? Thank you, Zeffy. Yeah, it's, slow and steady progress, but it's still, visible progress. And it's a nice, relaxing project to work on. Slowly fill in the gaps. Close up the mountainside. There we go. Okay, I very carefully need to mark off this side of the pattern before I forget which ones I just did. You do not sound so terrible. I strongly disagree. I don't know. I guess it makes sense that the rest of the world is kind of used to, like American accents, because like America had a lot of soft power and exported a lot of media for an extended period of time. Nowadays, all of the good TV is other people's stuff. Like, pretty much the only really, like, inventive stuff I've watched lately has been, like, Korean stuff. I haven't watched a lot of Australian or New Zealand content, unfortunately. You mostly have your own stuff over there. Yeah, international licensing rights just get really confusing and really complicated really quickly. That's what VPNs are for, right? Into the hole. Thank you. Amazing Aussie movies of the 90s. What? The Castle? What's it about? My shoulder's starting to... I start hunching it. Family on a street near the main airport. Well, eminent domain, yeah. That sometimes happens around here, though it's not. It's been a while, mostly. Sure, blue Aussies. Good to know. It's always good to see, like, real, authentic portrayals of people from different places rather than just the stereotypes that make it into other countries' media. I love the little road. It's so freaking cute. This kind of stuff just translates really well into cross stitch, pixel art. Pixel art's a great fit for cross stitching. Are there any games coming up that you guys are excited about? Ghostbusters game? Nice. I watched the last Ghostbusters movie as a triple feature at the drive-in. That's always fun. Good. Ghostbusters game should be phasmophobic. Like, Phasmophobia was just such a solid game. I'm terrible at it, but it's a lot of fun to play and watch. I'm desperately hoping for some real, actual Dragon Age news sometime this year. It'd be really nice. It's been 8 years since the Dragon Age Inquisition came out. I also just really want my brain is blanking on the name of it. Outer Wilds to get on the Switch. It's been delayed forever. I'm so bummed that Sally couldn't get a hold of the controls because it's such a good game. I met the devs of Dragon Age Inquisition at Comic-Con. Nice. I follow a lot of them on Twitter, and I like them deeply. They're such good people, such creative minds. I am a massive fangirl. Not that I publicize it, but my Discord title, like everybody else, I think is like mostly their channel name. My Discord's name is Sammy Loves Dragon Age. We got a like couple minute long teaser like a year or so ago, and I like legitimately ran around the house a couple of times, and my roommate was just like, wow. Listen, it's a problem. It's only a problem if I want it fixed. It's not a problem, it's an obsession. At some point, maybe after we finish Witcher, I have... Before Dragon Age 4 comes out, I will ultimately do 2 complete live playthroughs of both of the games. Or all 3 of the games. I want to do... an asshole run where I pick all of the mean brood options, except giving Fenris back to Daenerys. I can't do that, but anything else. And then I want to do a canon playthrough, my canon playthrough. So all of the decisions I would actually pick with each character carefully crafted. And that one is going to, assuming we get an actual like decent amount of heads up time, that playthrough is going to be lined up with the release of Dragon Age 4. So that I can do my canon playthrough of Origins 2 and Inquisition, and then roll straight into the brand new Dragon Age 4. I have never been this type of gamer, but when Dragon Age 4 eventually comes out, I will probably take time off of work to just binge it. I've been waiting too long. I need it. All of these self-indulgent playthroughs that only I care about and nobody else will care about. But they will make me happy, so I'm going to do them. And everybody will just have to deal with it. Borderlands 2. Solid. I really want to like the Borderlands games. I like the aesthetic and I like watching other people play them. I don't like shooters. I try so hard, but I just can't do it. Let me be sneaky. Or make alliances. Or find literally any other way around just indiscriminately murdering everybody. I don't want to. Wow, we've made some pretty good progress tonight. A lot of gaps filled in. I am a shamelessly casual gamer, Zeppy. I will absolutely save scum to get the outcome I want. I'll go back and redo things. I'll turn it on the easiest setting possible to get through something. I don't care. I am here to have fun, not to prove my gamer cred. How are your Overwatch matches going, Oliver? You don't have to answer right now if you're in the middle of one. What's your sweet spot of games, Abby? What's your favorite? You have no gamer cred. Solid. We all saw how much all of us were a mess during Rubber Bandits. What's your favorite kind of game? What do you like to play the most? Ooh, no, I'm still in the spot I actually need to be in. There we go. Shooter, but not competitive. Solid.
Don't ask.
What did you break this time?
Yeah. The glass.
Good job.
So proud.
We're gonna have to buy more of those wine glasses because now we're down to 2.
Yep. I'm gonna put an Amazon call out.
No.
Okay, we won't buy them from Amazon. We'll get them from somewhere else. You know what? We'll just get fancy ones.
I originally got them from Target.
Did we?
Yeah.
Are you?
Deep Rock Galactic is your favorite at the moment? Nice. What's your, like, all-time favorite? Listen, I do not support Amazon. I have a very angry face every time they come up. It is. I'm asking out here, asking the tough questions.
I dropped the glass.
Red Alert 2. Real-time strategy. Nice. I've already largely expounded on my fave, so I will spare you the rest of my rant. But honestly, like, I don't know. I like low-key games. Like, probably the game with the most hours is Stardew Valley. Played a lot of, like, OG GameCube, Animal Crossing. Just can't get into the new one. They took all the personality out of the villagers. My friend likes to tease me because I like to play games that are jobs. So I used to play a lot of Diner Dash. Love different like farming sims. I love my brain is blanking on it. What is it? Papers, Please. She's just like, why would you want to work for a game? I'm like, listen, simple tasks, easy checklist, lights my brain up. I'm happy. Okay, I'm gonna finish this bit up and then plug these holes. Just these two. And then I think we'll be done for the night because I gotta go figure out what I'm gonna have for dinner before the grocery store closes in an hour. I hope it's open till 10. Sometimes they close early. Most of out of hours for PC is oxygen not included. Solid. My Dragon Age is really hard to measure because one, games are around average. I've never heard of that one. It's hard to judge my Dragon Age games because one, there's 3 games. The first time I played them through was on the PlayStation, which doesn't, I don't think, track hours the same way. And then the first time they came onto PC, there's an Origins player, and now they're on Steam. So I've played them through multiple times on different platforms. Oh, I'm a dumb. You meant your Overwatch games. Solid. At least average is good, though. It's not an absolutely terrible night. I can't believe I completely misunderstood what you were saying. Head empty, no thoughts. Just cross stitch. I like narrative games. I want, a good game with good writing and good characters. Beyond that, everything else is bonus. Most played are Skyrim, Minecraft, and Overwatch. Solid. I subjected you, Oliver, to my Skyrim rant? Because if I had, I will skip it. Story games are just so good. Have I played Rumu? No, I haven't. What is it about? I've been playing the visual novel game Scarlet Hollow as it very slowly comes out. I am enjoying it, but like I keep trying to do what I think is the right thing, but I think I'm on the worst track because I watched somebody else play it and like they didn't get a girl. They didn't get a girl's foot trapped and it had to be amputated, and they didn't have to give up years of their life. And I'm like, oh no, I'm making all the wrong choices. Sentient Roomba. That sounds fun. You haven't heard my Skyrim rant? Okay, so I desperately want to like Skyrim. It should be right up my alley, but I just can't do it. So when I tried to play Skyrim, do the whole stupid opening scene, blah, 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 go to the first little village, meet lots of people. I'm like, okay, cool, great. So then I get to the first, like, big city. And one day I come out of the Thieves Guild, well, one of the guilds, and all of a sudden there are vampires in town, and they have what is the word for it? They've like controlled the guards. So now the guards are the vampires' thralls, and they're attacking me. And so in self-defense, I defend myself. But because I attacked the guard, I am now wanted, and now even if they're not thralls of the vampires, all of the guards in town are trying to kill me. So I make a break for it. I like duck into a building to try to get away from him, but all the guards just spawn in the building, and then as soon as I leave, they all spawn outside of the building. So I finally make a mad dash and get out of town, and I'm like, okay, breather, I'm gonna go find this magic school now. And so I start kind of straight line towards it, and I'm climbing up this mountain, and I'm like, oh look, a neat house, I'm gonna check in. Door is not locked. I open the door. Inside lives an evil warlock. And so because I walked into his house, he starts trying to kill me. I'm like, excuse me, sir, I didn't know I was trespassing. Nothing in the game warned me that I was trespassing. I will leave you be. I immediately try to leave his house, and he spawns outside of the house and starts attacking me. And so in trying to get away from him, I run around the house and up the mountain, and there's a dragon! And the dragon tries to eat me! And so I'm like, okay, screw this. I am just going to reload. I don't want any of this. So then I go to reload. Turns out I'd been forgetting to save. And the latest autosave file drops me right back inside the wizard's house. And so I'm just caught in this death loop of I can't go back to the main city because the guards are all gonna kill me. I can't get anywhere anyway because this warlock is trying to kill me, and there's a dragon. So I promptly gave up, and I've never gone back to Skyrim ever again. Can I find Rumu on Steam, or is it on a different platform? Classic Skyrim. See, don't tell me that, because that makes me never want to go back to it. Because again, just caught in a perpetual death loop is not fun. And I think even Skyrim fans know that that opening sucks so much, and I don't want to play it again. So I don't want to start a new game file to try again. It's not normally that deadly. I just got all the bad RNG, huh? It is that chaotic, though. I don't have it on Steam. I bought it on the PlayStation 4. Also, I'm again showing my lack of gamer cred. Mods are so confusing to me. I tried to install some for the Dragon Age games, and I just made everybody naked. So, that didn't quite work out for me. Speedrunning Skyrim, nice. Speedruns are magical and baffling, and just how does your brain work like that? Okay, so get do mods. This is so confusing. Okay, so I'm out of thread. Let me tie this off. All right, we made some good progress tonight. We plugged all of these little spots along the top of the river, and we plugged like all of this space up along here. So now we have a bit more of this same colored green to do down around the tree in here. And then down along here as well. But, you know, this is the edge of the page, so we're doing pretty good. Figured out how to install mods for The Sims, though. Yeah. Yeah. I'll try them again, specifically before my next Dragon Age playthrough. Especially Origins just drives me insane. So yeah. Anyway, I really appreciate you both for joining me. It's been so much fun chatting with you guys. I love these craft streams. I like just relaxing with, you know, something nice, pretty visual going on, but also just chatting with you guys. But I'm going to go to the grocery store and figure out what I'm doing for dinner. So we're going to go ahead and wrap that here. Thank you so much for joining me. Sunday, we will continue with more Witcher. We're on to chapter 2 now. And then probably more game stream next week. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week. Take care of yourselves. Do something fun. Just do something nice and relaxing. Bye, everybody.